My name is Dr. Will Donnelly, and I want to start by thanking everyone so much for coming tonight. Please remember, too, that tonight's author, Sandra Meek, will have books for sale, including this new book, Still, at the conclusion of the reading tonight and question and answer session as well, and she'll be available to sign those copies for you at the rear of the chapel at that time. To introduce Sandra, however, I'd first like to welcome Barry alumnus Nathan Hilker back to campus. Nathan earned a degree in English with honors from Barry College in 2000. He then studied creative writing at Hollins University in Roanoke, Virginia, and graduated with a Master of Arts in 2001. After working in journalism and teaching for several years, he studied theology at Lutheran Theological Southern Seminary and became an ordained pastor in 2008. He has served congregations in Conyers and Decatur, and now lives and works in Athens, Georgia. Though most of his publications have been in the areas of preaching and theology, he has also published poems in Elixir, Lutheran Forum, and Southern Poetry Review. He's married to Heidi, also an English major, who is an elementary educator, and they have 4 children together. The main thing that Barry College gave Nathan was a level of support and engagement from professors and staff that continues to astonish him. As an 18-year-old hungry to explore the life of the mind, to discern his vocation, and to start taking responsibility for his future, the questions about what constitutes the good life in Philosophy 101, the ethical dilemmas debated in Composition 102, and the struggles to craft artful forms of expression in creative writing classes were never abstract. For Nathan, they were existential questions. He likes to tell people that he learned far more at Barry College outside the classroom than in it. The generosity of his teachers and their deep and sincere care for his flourishing are things for which he can't begin to express his gratitude. He knows now, more than ever, that one can't take these things for granted. The other thing that Barry provided Nathan is a community of students who were interested not just in earning a degree, but in pursuing a way of life. In his poem, Archaic Torso of Apollo, Rilke reminds us that when you behold something of powerful beauty, you must change your life. This isn't to romanticize or idealize his circle of friends and compatriots, but Nathan's grateful to have had friends who felt compelled to call at 1 a.m. to share an insight about a line of a Charles Wright poem, who took a weekend trip together to present to each other what they were learning that most excited them in their different majors, and who were committed enough to the writing life that they held their own workshop even when their creative writing professor was out of town. The world needs skilled trades, and all of us need technical aptitude to do well in the 21st century. And God knows colleges have to provide certain lifestyle perks to compete for students. But Nathan hopes that Barry College remains, above all else, a place for the intellectually curious, and a place that equips people to pursue what is true and good and beautiful. Please now help me to welcome back to Barry College, Nathan Hilker.
Thank you. It's a joy and an honor and a privilege to be here to introduce my friend and mentor and teacher, Sandra Meek. There were times, Meek writes, I imagined motion could save us, but these are not those. Meek's work is filled with incessant movement, from the Kalahari deserts of Botswana to the highways of northwest Georgia, to the ocean reefs of the Galapagos Islands. The speaker of her poems is attuned to the particulars of ever-changing terrain that is always, in some sense, unfamiliar. And yet, as she writes, I expect to find myself in every local habitat. Attention, says the philosopher Simone Weil, is the purest form of prayer. and Meek attends to the contours and intricacies of the natural world in a way that attains to prayer. She finds in unfamiliar landscapes a means by which to understand more fully our own human interiority and to explore all the ugly traumas and messy joys of human relationships. Part of what makes her poetry unique, though, is the self-consciousness of its artifice. The speaker of Meek's poems is fully aware of the immeasurable otherness of what it attends to, whether it's Spanish moss, or Bryce Canyon, ant bears, or marine iguanas. And the density of her language powerfully conveys the ways in which our own human consciousness and experience are inseparable from the non-human environment in which we live. In every one of Professor Meek's and every one of Sandy's books, there's a line that resonates with me and becomes a kind of mantra for me in the months ahead. And in one of her previous works, the line that resonated with me for years, and it still is in my head, is the line, "What frees the father binds the child. As a son and now as a father myself." That line hangs over me like a blessing and a curse sometimes. The line in this book that resonates with me is this: to walk on water is to lose this world by half. To walk on water, to separate ourselves from creation, if I understand her correctly, is to lose the world and to lose ourselves at once. In her latest collection, Still, Meek offers us the gift of rest and persisting presence. In a world of incessant motion and endless mutability, we need what perdures. We need to be still and listen, and to attend prayerfully to the world beneath our feet, to the other right before us. For it's only in doing so that we'll find ourselves. I'm grateful to introduce my teacher and my friend, Sandra Meek. I hope you'll join me in welcoming.
Amazing. Okay, I'm going to be really obnoxious now. I'm going to take your picture. You guys look really good. Smile. You guys are beautiful. So I have to tell you, Nathan introduced me once before, the first time I read at Barry, when he was editor of Ramifications 20 years ago. It's just so amazing to have you back, Nathan, and have so many alumni back today. Those of you who don't know, we've got now we have a few surprises. We've got about 28 alumni from 1999 to last semester, and so many other wonderful friends and guests. Thank you all so much for coming. I think I will read 5 poems. 2 of them are rather long, so I'll just read 5. The first one is set in a coral reef. Actually, the first 2 poems are. And I think there's just nothing more amazing on this planet than a live coral reef. So, as you probably know, coral reefs do all kinds of things, protecting coasts, supporting economies, scientific discovery, etc. They also provide habitat for about 1 million species. And though they've been around for 400 million years, building reefs for 25 million years, with our current level of carbon emissions, unless something radically changes, we are on track for all coral reefs to disappear in the next 30 years after 25 million. Okay, so less serious now. Here's a couple of fun squid facts. So squid have the largest eye-to-body ratio in the entire animal kingdom. They have this complex way of communicating through these shimmering light patterns on their body. And they can actually, on one side of their body, they swim in these small groups together. And they can actually have one message they're sending to the guy on this side, and then a different message to the guy on this side. I just saw Jericho. Is that you, Jericho? Hey, it's Jericho Brown. We have many friends here, Jericho. Thank you for coming. Who's here? Robin, are you there? Oh my God. Who else is out there? That's Robin Schiff. Jericho Brown and Robin Schiff are two of the most amazing poets in this country, of the world really, but you know, it's just, wow. Okay, so we were talking about squid though. So a couple other little fun facts for the poem. A goby, if you're not familiar with them, it's a very tiny fish that you might see peeking out of brain coral. And sperm whale oil was used in oil lamps until the late 19th century. Still life with Caribbean reef squid, Sepio toothes, Sepioidea. What swam back from the dough-damp eye, your own goggled face, unfinished as the gobies you treaded sea against the surf surging, to witness emerge from its brain coral cave. That fogged, head-on perspective, rendering it simple beyond its being. A gas mask gesture drawing, cross-hatched to shadows. As against high cotton rag paper, stroke by stroke, you remember a man who sketched you as you slept, packing on charcoal until it approximated the darkness the face meant to rise against. You saw it before you knew its name, knowing only the creature had seen you, knowing this only by its quick disappearance. But the squid do not startle. Fins rippling, sleek bodies gleaming, liquid as wax sprung from the head cavity of a sperm whale, sparked to specter the flame it would wick to only when the knives were docked. Their arms extend, mimicking sargassum weed. Hovering, though you know what's coming, still it surprises how sudden the unfurling, the arms flash flowering to star anemone, how fierce they're drilling the dark pockets for what harbored in the hope refuge might lie in a bed of hard corals. How you trailed this ravenous unfolding, shadowing their trolling the fringe reef, iridescent, crushed pearl mounds, studded with fan corals, lavender and lime, royal purple, waved from stiff wrists of holdfasts by leeward's muted, moon-driven surf. Dusky anchovy, hardhead, silver sides, shrimp, dwarf herring, all things soft, devoured, all things armored, discarded. Head, ribs, vertebral column, a single unsheathing. To walk on water is to miss this world by half. This immersion taught you. No alarms, gold brightening, no brick red of retreat, no diversion of ink clouding their swerve into distance. Like sequins cast in organza veils, a spray of sinkers woven to fishing nets' translucence, They signed each to each in shimmering chromatics you could read only as radiance, diminishment propelling you on. Whether hours or minutes, you could not say. You followed. Then, led to the coral's fossil-strewn shore, the shell of you returned. So the next poem is about another very different creature that you might find on a reef. And this is the Semithoa exedra, or the tongue-eating isopod. And one of our students, Olivia, where are you? Olivia has also written about the tongue-eating isopod. Yes, in a beautiful poem. Okay, so I'm going to do something really weird here and say you should really look up right now on Google the tongue-eating louse so you can have an image of it. I'll give you 60 seconds. The tongue-eating louse is the quickest way to Google it. You seen it? Well, as you're looking, I'll tell you a little bit about it. Okay, so the Semithoa exedra, it's the only known parasite which both consumes and replaces the organ of another living creature. So in this poem, a tongue-eating louse is addressing the fish that's serving as its host victim. A couple other little fun facts for the poem. The poem refers to the pill bug, which is just a roly-poly bug, which is also an isopod, a relative. And also, the tongue-eating louse has 5 sets of jaws. Just in case the image didn't creep you out. Still with severed tongue, Semithoa exedra, tongue-eating louse, and Lujanus guttatus, spotted rose snapper. Did you feel it, that first crick at your throat, at my arrival's muscled root, finale to parting your gills frilled arc as smoothly as a hand slips into the silk slit of a girl's sleeve? How I hummed your heart's double-chambered throne, all my jaws aching me on. Vessel by vessel, I sawed with a grace, surgical and determined. Bathed anew, each gasp, wasn't I wrapped in the blood of abandon, a sustenance never meant to sustain. Thus, I was eager for atrophy, the late stage withering, your unstrung tongue drifting down to the fire coral, blades burnt gold and white-tipped as ash, or the needle eye of flame. There it was set upon by others no longer my concern, their dawn rose blush, gold ellipses stippling the silvered scallops of their scales. I, wanting nothing but to ride your liquid pitch as you troll the mounded, opalescent ledge for what darts from its kinks and dark crevices. When I latched your sweet stub for good, why, at that dearest jointing, did you owe your mouth, though nothing swam near to feed us? Only that slow undulation, twisting above coral, all mouth and anus and sting, extended tentacles fine as a boy's faintest chin hairs. If you are host, am not I the master mistress of ceremonies, oracle to your priest? Am not I poles for my brethren, who ride their lives out on the surface of a face, never getting beneath the skin, the scales, benign, symbiotic, meaning too timid to cut in. Poles for my limb-stranded cousin, pillbug that fear helmets to a ball, small as the eraser of the pencil any grubby child might poke it with. Hyphen and hinge to your hunger satisfied, didn't I heal the wound I cleaved you to? Still, you would dream it, blooded and pulsing, eel sleep, branched high in the staghorn, ululating the duration. But isn't dullness a kind of relief, living as a flip side of serration? And don't I have dominion over the fish of the sea, banishing even your burgeoning phantom limb from this vaulted chapel I lie in? Because you did not take the bait descending from sky hung on a wire dive, the exact cerulean of the shallows that held you through aftermath. What came from sea itself, from the very waters that rocked you, from which you could not at once have sealed yourself safe and breathed. All your life now, I will be the live thing ghosting you from inside. The slick of my eyes, last vision for prey or for kind, whomever you open your mouth to, as if you might speak.